Greetings and welcome. It's good to see everybody today. I have the ability to stand before you. I was chosen. I didn't choose it, and I welcome it. Congratulations to all of you this day. One of the unique experiences about having a graduation ceremony is you have a speaker. However, I believe it would be even more empowering if every brother were to come up here, grab this mic, and told their story of all the things that you've overcome to stand here, sit here, to be honored today. Give yourself a round of applause. I have with me my wife, Miss Octavia Sutherland. My name is Dr. Al Sutherland Jr. My favorite color is blue. My birthday is August the 30th, and one thing I like to do for fun is ride my motorcycle. Honda CBR 600RR. Anybody else ride?
I got a 1000 RR.
Oh, indeed. We can get it. We can get it.
My birthday August 30th.
August 30th? Man, we twins then, brother. We good. We good. Indeed, indeed. And we're here to acknowledge the sacrifice, the acceptance of responsibility, the love for your families, and most importantly, your willingness to lead courageously. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there has been a spirit of passivity placed on men for, was it like thousands of years? There's a spirit of passivity. From my understanding, the first time that the spirit of passivity entered into this world, there was a situation where there was this young man who was there with his lovely wife, and there was this, call him a serpent. The serpent came over to his wife and started speaking to her, asking her to do something that he knew his father told him not to do. And what happened was, while the woman was being persuaded, the man stood there and watched. And that spirit of passivity has been on all of us for years. And one of the things, if we think of the opposite of being passive, is to lead courageously, which is what you're doing right now. And we definitely want to keep pressing forward as we lead courageously. You spent countless hours reading, writing, studying all the material, making connections with these significant people in your life, and we honor you. Give yourself a round of applause one more time for me. This day is made possible by the Gentle Warriors Academy. Can all the people who are affiliated connectly, directly, and indirectly from the Gentle Warriors Academy just make yourself present? I want to acknowledge you guys as well. All the people who are affiliated with it. I thought about this, what I'm going to talk about, and I kind of realized that my dad disappeared when I was about 3 months old. You know, left my mom. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, born on a military base in Fort Gordon in Augusta, home of James Brown. You know James Brown, right? Yeah, home of James Brown in the basketball. And what I realized was when I didn't meet him till I'm 48 years old. I didn't meet him till my 40th birthday. I was going to Phi Beta Sigma 100 year anniversary in D.C. We had a layover in Chicago, and my sister found him. And I met him in Chicago at the airport. That was the first time I ever met him at 40 years old. And what we found out was that the Vietnam War took my dad back then. And he said that because of the war and all the people that he saw that passed, he didn't know what to do. He came and he just immediately ran back into the war. His mom had passed and it was real tough for him. And I wondered to myself, what if my dad had Gentle Warriors Academy to support him during that time of his life, to make sure that he is present in the life of my sister and I. My sister really, really, really struggled without having her dad around. I struggled as well, but she really struggled with her choices and decision making of the men that she chose in her life. She really struggled. And I wondered what would be different if there was this type of program to connect fathers to the children, to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children and the hearts of the children back to the fathers. And every day I think about my sister. She recently got married for the first time. She's 3 years, 3 months and a day older than I. And she got married on August 20th of last year to a wonderful dude. And they working through it. So I'm praising for my sister. Definitely appreciate that. So we acknowledge all of the sacrifice and the willingness to accept things that are great in your life. In order to be here today, you guys had to relinquish some of our own selfish desires, just to make sure that we're getting the knowledge and the skill, the know-how to be present for our family. So I definitely honor and celebrate you guys. I appreciate you. I got some things I want to make sure I give to you to put in your hand because the Spirit is on it, and we want to make sure it's the ripple effect. If you never heard of the ripple effect, if you imagine you find the tiniest of tiniest of tiniest of pebbles, and you get as close to the water as you can, as close as you can, and when you drop it, it's going to ripple, and it's going to just spread. And all that you learned today, all that you learned from all the experiences before today, is going to ripple into your children. And the men have gathered together. Now we're going to gather into the community, the cities of Atlanta and all its neighboring cities to enhance everywhere that we go. It's going to ripple. Now what we did and what we learned is not just for us. It's for everybody that's going to come after us. The people that's to our left and to our right, behind us, all around us. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to go to this side over here. Did you know that a father's presence is irreplaceable? I'm going to ask you guys. Did you know that your presence is irreplaceable? There's no substitute for a father in our life, which is God. Anybody who ever believes in a God or any type of God, we all know it's our Father. The Father is the foundation. When you think of when you build a building, or you build a house, the Father is the foundation. You know, if you got a cracked window, you got a door that's not working like it's supposed to work, they won't demolish it. If you have a fracture in that foundation, they destroy it. And we got to start all over again. And a part of the healing process, what my company does, we've done in-home counseling for 13 counties in Metro Atlanta and virtual for the whole state of Georgia. Clinical supervision, which is training other clinicians to become licensed therapists. I also mentor black men who are therapists in the Metro Atlanta area called Counseling Brothers of Atlanta. If you're looking for a black man who's a therapist, you can go to Counseling Brothers of Atlanta, you can go to SutherlandCenter.com, you can go to my company as well. My wife and I, we do couples therapy together. We do all the couples work together to strengthen the foundation of our family. It's amazing, I know it's building stronger families one father at a time. It's building stronger families by strengthening fathers. My whole company is about strengthening the foundation of the family, to support fathers with being even better fathers. And it's right in line. I appreciate you, Brother Brad, wherever you are right now. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the time. The fathers, let me say a few things. I'm a father myself. I have an 18-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter. My son's a senior. And this thing that we had to learn before is to push in. You remember when your kids are little, you know you got 8, right? When your kids are real little, they'll constantly run up to us. You know, they got their hands up, like run into us. They run to us. They can knock us down a lot of times. You know, I was a school counselor at Paul D. West Middle School, and I'm a counselor in College Park Elementary as well. The little kids, they run up to you, and they're reaching up for you. But as our kids get older, we have to begin to run to them. And if you remember, keep pushing into the lives of your children. No matter how far they keep running, you keep pushing into the lives of your children because they need you. And they're worth fighting for. We're constantly pushing into the lives of our children. No matter how far they go, whether they go to college here in Georgia or they go somewhere else, we keep pushing into the lives of our children. One of the things I did to provide extra support for my son and my daughter, we heard a lot of times about it takes a village, it takes a village. I kind of believe that, but I like the philosophy of being able to influence the village. If I can't influence the village, I don't want you to be part of my village. Because I'm going to find brothers who are empowering, who's going to support, who's going to push my children to be better. And what I did I had this vision, dream, long time ago about what I wanted to do for my son. I had this vision, and I actually saw it in one of my favorite books, where the father created this ring, and he gave it to his son. And when I was younger in the 90s, when I was playing football at West Georgia College years ago, defensive back, and I coached at West Georgia, I had this dream about a ceremony, and I wanted to present my son with a ring. And on his 13th birthday, I chose a few of the men who were part of my life, my pastor, my fraternity brothers, and some other brothers. And what I had them do is they all spoke words of encouragement, words of wisdom to him, and they crowned him with a tie. And each brother chose a different color tie, and they said whatever words they wanted to say to him to crown him with a tie. And we did a prayer. We make sure we covered him up. And I presented him with this ring that you see right here on my hand. On one side, it says Father with my initials, and the other side, it says Son with his initials, and it has committed, involved, and responsible. Because I know that I'm committed to him, I'm responsible for him, and I'm constantly involved in his life. And it has our birthdays engraved on the inside. And then on my daughter's 13th birthday, I invited a whole bunch of women, including my wife and my mom, who spoke words of wisdom to my daughter. These are women who have been significant in my life that I chose. I'm familiar with them. And what I did for my daughter, I presented her with a necklace. It has father with my initials, daughter with her initials, committed, involved, responsible, with our birthdays on the back. And all the women presented her with bracelets. And what I wanted to do was to make sure
Okay.
that beyond me, they still have somebody they can call upon. That I have men around my son that he can speak to when he needs to be talked to. I have women around my daughters who can talk to my daughter, men around my son. I wanted to make sure they were good beyond me. They got me, but what happens when I'm not around? And what you guys just created here, you have trustworthy men, which is much different than just a regular man. A trustworthy man is someone who usually will listen to you, they'll support you, and they're going to help you out. And you can hand choose the trustworthy men that you want in life to support your children beyond you. And that's what we look to do, constantly, constantly, constantly. I don't know if you know guys are real familiar with Shannon Sharps. You know, I'm a huge Denver Broncos fan, the Mile High City. We need a head coach. Can anybody coach football? We need a head coach in the Mile High City. Super Bowl 50 champions. We're looking for a head coach. But Shannon Sharp spoke about this experience where he purchased a $250,000 car, $250,000 car. It's about like his 4th year in the league. He said he was making about $325,000. Now let's look at this. You're making $325,000 and you made one purchase for $250,000. That wasn't a good choice. And what he realized, he knew it wasn't a good choice. But one thing that let us know about it is that impulse affects us all. And I remember greatly in my 20s how impulsive I was in the decision that I made. I really didn't think through it a lot. And what I learned is that impulse is okay for a child. However, it is disastrous for a man. Impulse must be transformed into intuition through discipline. Now, discipline is the little boundaries that we put in place for how we're going to interact, how we protect our eyes and protect our ears. And I'm imagining how we protect our eyes, because so many things is a direct path to the mind. And one of the things that I do sometimes, grab something. Yeah, I like to wear hats. And one thing that I do to remind me to protect my mind is I'll put on my hat. And I know so many things are coming about to attack the mind of the man and to pull the man away. And if it can isolate us to say, separate from the other men, separate from your family, and those things will start to attack our mind, it'll affect us. And they'll start to say that you're not worthy. Man, you know good well you ain't sugar honey iced tea. You ain't never gonna be there. And if we allow those isolated moments to pull us aside and we keep receiving that, it will. And what we do is we begin to transform that impulse into intuition through discipline, because either we're going to experience the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. No matter which one you choose discipline. We know discipline weighs like ounces. It's like getting up every day. Let me grind. You guys were studying, you read, you calling each other every day, you grind. Or you can experience the pain of regret. Damn, I should have stayed in that program. I would have got me a bow tie. I'd have been standing up here and got the words of encouragement. I mean, I could have been valedictorian. But you discipline yourself. And you acknowledge that and you praise yourself for that discipline. We always want to go with this experiencing the pain of discipline over the pain of regret every time. And we know we're going to make sure we transform that intuition. We know impulse is really about the urge to act. Intuition is understanding, should I or should I not? I know I can go get with these girls. I know I can go hang with these folks over here. I know somebody else will look out for my kids. They're like they don't want to be around. No. You chosen to participate and graduate. It is up to you. The difference is always you. It doesn't matter the curriculum. It's a wonderful curriculum you guys experience. The difference is still you and how you choose to allow this to help you grow, to stimulate your life, to make it even better. So I've gone to schools and I've spoken to kids, and this is one skill that we use when we have the urge or the impulse to do something that we shouldn't do. Before we say or do anything, this is something we should do. So I'm gonna show it to you, and if you wanna do it, you can do it with me. It goes like this. Before I make a choice to say or do anything, this is what I do. Stop, breathe, and think about what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do. Will it help or will it hurt? Before we make a choice, and we know kids really struggle with impulse, and we know it's disastrous for a man. Before you make a choice to say or do anything, you ask yourself, will this help me and my family? Because we know the choice that we make is not an individual choice. It's not just for you. You're a reflection of your family, and your family's a reflection of you. How they experience life is how you experience life. So we begin to make choices, consecutive choices, that we know through repetition we get better. We repeat those things that are good for us and beneficial to us. We make those choices that are gonna help and not hurt. But we're gonna keep pressing forward. So there's this thing that we talk about faith. Let me talk a little bit about faith. Faith is really about battling discouragement that we have. And we know all these things are coming into our mind. They're trying to stimulate our mind. The one thing, if you're big on Captain America had this shield, and he used his shield to battle his enemies. And in my favorite book, it also talks about a shield. So I want to encourage you guys to use your faith to battle the discouragement that comes your way. Let me show you. I got my shield. Now some people take their shield and they just hide behind it. No, we're gonna take our shield because we're warriors, right? What is a warrior? We're warriors. And we're gonna battle all the discouragement that attempts to separate us from our family, from our children, which you've already been doing, which is why you're here. So I encourage you to keep using your shield to battle all the discouragement that comes your way. You the head. Lead them. Indeed. My mom, who is also Dr. Sutherland, I always think about it everywhere I go. She used to say to me when I was feeling down or wasn't confident or just not being how I want to be, she would say to me, I love you, I believe in you, and I have faith in you. Because a lot of times our children are going to need to believe in our faith in them until their faith becomes strong enough to sustain them even further. So if your children are here right now, I strongly encourage you to turn to them and say to them, I love you, I believe you, and I have faith in you.
I love you, I believe in you, and I have faith in you. I love you. I love y'all, I believe in y'all, I have faith in y'all. Everybody.
It's very hard to be a warrior to carry your armor if you're not good. You got to be mentally, physically, spiritually strong to the core to carry your family. They're worth fighting for and they need you. So I'm encouraging you to kind of stay on that path with it and make sure we're using that time. Now I know that we have the tendency to want to work. You know, the spirit of work is in me and we're going to hit it, we're going to hit it. And if you find that you're spending 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 hours working, and then you come home to your family, like, man, fam, I ain't got nothing for y'all today. They're gonna be like, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Let your daddy sleep, let your daddy sleep. Let him get his rest. The family's gonna be understanding. Imagine if you went to your supervisor, your boss, whoever it is that you're working for at this time until you become entrepreneur as well, and you tell them, man, I done spent 90 hours with my family. I ain't got nothing to give to you. What's your supervisor boss gonna say? They're gonna cut you loose. Deuces, 5,000, I'm out. And yet, we find a way. If you do that from elementary, middle, and high school, if you keep grinding 90 hours a week, you're gonna be absent. The dissertation to become a doctor in counseling psychology, my dissertation was the effects of father absence on delinquent behavior of African American males. What I was looking at, males between the age of 12 and 17, and looked at the role that they had with their dad, if the dad was emotionally absent, physically absent, or a combination of both, and its impact on the choices that the boys made. Smoking weed, doing terroristic threats, doing whatever it is they were doing that was oppositional behaviors that landed them in the Regional Youth Detention Center. And what happens is the fathers who were emotionally absent, and what that means is I see you every day, I hang out with you, but I see you every day, we come into the house, and yet we're not emotionally connected. I don't get no love, I don't get no hugs, we don't hang out. The fathers who are emotionally absent is more traumatic for them than if they never knew their dad at all. So if you're present, like you are, because you're a warrior, be emotionally connected to your children. Love on them, kiss them, have dates with them. My daughter and I used to go to Princess Ball every year until she aged out at 12. We went for 12 years, from age 2 to 12. Be emotionally present for your children. Date your son, date your daughter. Be there for them. That's what difference all that makes for them, for the benefit of your family. Everything is for the benefit of your family, to strengthen your faith. So I'm gonna hit you with this last part. Discipline your disappointments. They're gonna come. You've already experienced many already. We discipline our disappointments, meaning when a disappointment comes our way, it shouldn't hold us down no longer than 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours, but no longer than 3 days. We got to get up and press forward. We got to get up. That's what a warrior do. When you get knocked down, you got on your arm, you get down, you open up. You look up. You got that shield of faith to battle that discouragement. We got to get up and keep pressing forward. So I'll leave you with this. May your faith stay with you as you strengthen the foundation of your family. Love you guys.